All right, so today we're here diving into the pros and cons of living in the luxurious paradise of Naples, Florida. You are not going to want to miss finding out why Naples is one of the most popular retirement spots for the most wealthy people that you've probably never heard of. So make sure you stick around to the end to catch that. All right, so first up, we're going to talk location. Well, hold on a minute, because before I get into location, let me put in a disclaimer right here and say it so that I don't have to keep harping on it. Naples is expensive. Actually, scratch that. Very expensive for the average person. But expensive is a relative term. So for people who can afford it, it's not expensive. So we're going to assume from here on out that you heard this disclaimer, and I'm now going to discuss Naples based on Naples instead of comparing it to other parts of Southwest Florida that are more in line with what the average person's financial expectations and abilities are. So that it doesn't sound like I'm constantly ragging on Naples this whole video about the cost of things, because they're just not the same. Fair enough? Okay, so location. We're going to take a look, jump over to my computer and take a look here, but Naples is at the southern tip of the mainland Florida Gulf Coast, south of Fort Myers. So you see Naples here, Fort Myers is up here. The only thing further south on this coast is Marco Island down here. You've got Miami a couple hours to the east and Tampa up here a couple hours to the north. So if you want to go visit the bigger cities, they're just a day trip away. Whether you're taking a scenic drive down Alligator Alley or checking out a Miami Heat or Tampa Bay Lightning game, Naples keeps you connected, but also still tucked away in its own little oasis. Now, one downside for you wanderlusters that want to travel farther than that is that Naples can feel a bit isolated being all the way down here on the southern tip of Florida. Road trips beyond the southern states can be long, but if you're flying, the nearest international airport is only about a half hour away in Fort Myers, right here. Though there aren't a ton of international flights in and out, and if you really want a direct flight to anywhere outside of the northeastern US, you're likely going to need to consider one of the larger airports in Tampa, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, or even Orlando, if you're flying commercial. Now, if you prefer to fly private, there is Naples Airport right here, the Naples Municipal Airport, where you can get private charters, or if you own your own private plane, you can fly direct in and out of there anytime you want. Now, if you're a boater, it is an incredible location because there are a ton of homes where you can keep your boat or yacht docked right in your backyard. And if you decide against being right on the water, there are also plenty of marinas with both wet and dry dock options available. So it's a fantastic spot to sail to the Florida Keys or any of the Caribbean islands from, as you can see. Next, let's talk about who your neighbors are gonna be. Naples' full-time population is only around 20,000 people, which honestly feels like a small town when you're out and about. And keep in mind, when I'm talking about Naples' full-time population, we just saw on the map there, the city limits were outlined in that red and white dotted line. So the Naples city limits is much smaller than the Naples area as a whole. So as part of that much larger metro area, totals up around 375,000 or so people. So while the town itself has a chill, quiet vibe, you're not living in complete seclusion. You've got access to all the typical modern amenities that you will need without losing that tight-knit community feel. Naples is also known as a retiree haven. You know what that means? Super friendly people, excellent healthcare, and amazing golf courses, of course. But don't worry, it's not all early dinners and bingo nights either. There's actually been a significant influx of a lot of younger families and professionals moving in over the last 15 to 20 years or so as well. But on the flip side, this also means that during snowbird season, the winter months, when all of those part-timers come down here, maybe you too, to escape the cold, it can really feel like the entire country has descended upon you. Traffic spikes, beaches get crowded, and good luck getting a reservation at your favorite restaurant. Welcome to Naples in peak season, my friends. Honestly, sometimes it makes me want to visit the other Naples, Naples, Italy, during the winter. Shh, my little secret is that winter is the off-season in Southern Europe. But that's for another video. Now let's talk weather. All right, if you love sunny days and warm winters, Naples is definitely your jam. The weather here is just chef's kiss. You get to enjoy outdoor activities year-round, whether it's golfing, lounging on the beach, or taking a sunset cruise. The winters are mild, the kind that make your friends up north super jealous when you post those sunny pics of you lounging by the beach or the pool at 10 a.m. But here's the catch. You remember, we just talked about all those snowbirds, right? That's because while the winters are incredible, summers in Naples are hot. Like really, really hot. Humidity through the roof, sweat through your shirt after 10 minutes outside kind of hot. So many people decide to just leave for the summer. Maybe that's your plan too? I don't know. If so, no problem. We know some great areas that make it super easy to just lock up and leave. And we have a great team of people who can help keep an eye on your place while you're gone too. And let's not forget about hurricane season, which typically runs from June through November. So if you plan to be here all year long, you'll need a good AC and a solid hurricane plan because those late summer storms can be nasty, even the ones that don't get a name. So pro, perfect winter weather. Con, summers that'll make you feel like a steamed lobster. Next, let's talk real estate and money. Because even if you're well-heeled, you want to know what you're getting into, right? Now, we already know Naples is known for being a bit, fancy and expensive. We're talking high-end homes in high-end gated communities as the most common options for homes. The current median home price here is around $740,000 right now. Homeowners insurance on that median priced home is typically going to run you somewhere between $6 and $7 grand a year. And if your home is in a flood zone, you're going to need a separate flood insurance policy as well, if you're financing your home. Now, if you're paying cash, of course, insurance of any type is typically not required, though definitely recommended. And the reason I say typically is because if you are in an HOA or a condo, insurance may still be required by the association. Now, the average cost of flood insurance in Naples is only around $1,200 a year, but it can very easily be significantly higher depending on the home that you choose. So, for example, one of my homes, I'm paying $5,200 a year for. Another one was about $1,700. I've seen clients that get flood insurance as low as $541 a year in some areas, and I've seen some as high as $15,000 and $20,000 as well. Property taxes? Well, the property tax rate in Naples is actually incredibly one of the lowest rates in the state at just slightly over 1%. The reason they can maintain this super low tax rate and consistently maintain such a beautiful city is because those property values are so high. So your median home price, property taxes on that home is going to run about $7,500 a year. And then something a lot of people ask about, even though not technically related to home costs itself, is car insurance. And yes, car insurance here in Florida does tend to be more expensive than most other states. And then since most homes in Naples are in gated communities, you should probably also be prepared for condo or HOA fees that come with these types of communities. The fees can vary wildly depending on the neighborhood and the amenities offered. Some of them will be under $1,000 per year and will include very little amenities, but there are others that are $1,000 to $2,000 a month or even more and will include just about everything you could possibly want. This, of course, will depend more on the lifestyle you're looking for than on the home itself. And despite the fact that most homes here are in gated communities, not all of them are. So if you aren't into that and prefer a non-HOA neighborhood or even acreage property, we can help you with that too. And in terms of home design, Naples has all kinds of architectural styles, a little bit of everything really. Mediterranean super popular, there's ranch, classic contemporary, even old Florida. So there's a variety, and you'll likely find something you love. Now we're going to talk about things to do in Naples. And of course, we can't talk about Naples without mentioning the beaches, right? I mean, they're incredible. White sandy beaches stretching all along the Gulf Coast. And guess what else? Free parking. It's like a beachgoer's dream. Whether you're chilling at Loudermill Park or catching a sunset at Naples Pier, once it's rebuilt, you can soak up all the coastal goodness you want. And if golf is your thing, welcome to Golf Central. Literally, Naples is known as the golf capital of the world, with over 80 championship courses to choose from and more being built. And there's a ton of membership options as well. You can do private, semi-private, bundled, and there's public courses also. And if you're not into golf, don't worry, because Naples has a really rich arts and culture scene as well. You can check out the Naples Players Theater, Naples Zoo, or take a stroll through the Naples Botanical Garden. But during peak season, be prepared for crowds. Golf courses, beaches, even grocery stores can get packed, so patience is a key. If you're like me, good luck with that. You might even make a game out of trying to find a parking spot at the mall. Or, better yet, just have your driver drop you off. Come back and pick you up when you're done. So pro, endless outdoor activities and a lively art scene. Cons, you're going to be sharing it with thousands of your closest snowbird friends during the winter and spring months. Okay, so I told you that you would want to stick around and know why so many wealthy people pick Naples as their home, or at least as their primary residence. But let's talk about why they picked Florida first. And that primarily is the tax situation. And here's why. Florida has no state income tax, which is a huge bonus if you're coming from a state with high taxes, like a lot of the Northeast and even Northern Midwest. It's like getting an instant raise just by moving here. Now, why Naples? Well, there's a few reasons. On the safety front, Naples in general has a very, very low crime rate. It is consistently ranked as one of the safest cities in the entire US. And of course, the many gated communities add to that sense of security as well. As for jobs, Naples has a fantastic, thriving job market, especially in healthcare, real estate, and construction and hospitality. But also, there have been a ton of large companies that have recently relocated their corporate offices to the area over the past few years, where they're recognizing that many of their employees really wanted to relocate from up north down to the warmer Florida climate, and so they went ahead and moved the company. It's even been ranked as one of the best cities for job growth by Forbes, so you won't actually have to sell seashells by the seashore unless you really want to. But the number one reason the quietly wealthy choose Naples is because it's quiet and understated. It's not loud and flashy like Miami. You'll see way more Bentleys, Rolls Royces, and silver, white, black, or of course the iconic red Ferraris, rather than the loud and brash highlighter yellow, orange, or green Lambos. That is just the way they like it. So if Naples sounds like the spot for you, give us a call so we can get started on your home search, or check out these other videos of some of the top Naples neighborhoods to live in. And if it doesn't sound like your spot, check out these other videos of some of the other nearby towns in Southwest Florida to find the right one for you. Or call us and talk to us about what you're looking for. We'd be happy to help.